Sunflower Enlightenment presents Let's Talk Self-Love. Okay, so this week's topic for Let's Talk Self-Love is self-mastery. And self-mastery means like being able to control who you are and emit it out into the universe, or basically having self-control over yourself. And that's such a big thing. Things that I do to have self-mastery and self-control is I try to have time management. I try to make a schedule and stick to it. Even though I know things may happen that I can't control, I try to just, go with the flow of things. And once you have self-mastery, you can accomplish so many things. You can go far. You can do a lot with just this one. Once you master yourself, once you have self-control over who you are, once you figure out who you are, have control over it, even if it's your shadow self, which is your dark side of yourself, because everybody has one, or if it's the light side of yourself. We always want to stay in our light body because it will elevate us. It will move us higher. And every time we elevate and every time we move higher, we always have a test that the universe and that God is showing us, like, hey, I want to see if you're ready for this. I'm going to test you. I'm going to see if you're able to pass that test. Do you have self-control to pass these tests and go back from all the mistakes that you have learned from in the past to apply them to your present day moment within those tests? And that's how you know you've conquered self-mastery. That's how you know you've learned the ability of self-control. And then that's when you will feel just amazing. And that's when you will feel like, I can do anything in the world. I can conquer anything, because you know what? I know how to have self-control. Even when people push your buttons, they'll be like, they'll say anything to hurt you, to bring you down. What are you going to do? You've had this happen to you before many of times in the past, and you let people push your buttons and you've spoken out with anger and rage. But what have you learned from those situations in the past to now cross over to now? What do? You know what you do? You breathe, you relax, you practice self-control, and then you speak with love. And then that's how you can change the situation to make it better. That's how you master yourself. Even with your shadow side, all that, some people may have, a little bit of speckle of dark, and people will come around you and they'll see that and they'll be like, I'm about to poke it. And God's like, your angels are like, girl, what you about to do? Are you about to like that good angel and bad angel? That bad angel be like, girl, do it. You want to say it, and it happens to us every day. It's a work in process. It's self-mastery is not going to be obtained in one night. Self-mastery isn't going to happen in a day, guys. They didn't build Rome in 3 days. It took them probably years. It may take you months, but if you practice it every day and do it, your life will be so much better. Like, you will feel so good about yourself. You'll be waking up with energy that you didn't even know you had, because you've learned how to practice self-control. And with that, you have self-control. You can, how can I say, I don't know why I want to say, you can say something. If a situation is so negative for you, you can turn that situation around just by the way you handle it and how you speak with love and within yourself, and you speak to that situation with love and kindness, that whole situation will change around, whether it's a person, it's a relationship, it's a job. However you speak it, that's how it will change for you. That is self-control. That is self-mastery. And these examples can go on and on. Like, it doesn't just have to be with work or love or whatever. But self-control and self-mastery can be practiced anywhere. You can practice it within your spirituality. You can practice it within your physical stuff. You can practice it just with anything throughout your life on the whole spectrum. And when you do that, your life changes for the better. And there are 3 affirmations that you guys should do and say. And you should look yourself in the mirror, or just, if you're riding in your car, you should just scream it out loud and say, I am in self-control. You should say that 3 times, and you should say it with power. You should say it with an authoritative voice. Like, you should let it come from your solar plexus and your solar chakra. Like, you should let it be heard. You should feel it, and you should believe it, that I am in self-control. Like, none of these outside sources or none of these outside things can get to me, can let me down, can make me turn my positive day into something terrible. And if it does, you know what? Do not beat yourself up about it, because it's okay. You just have to practice and work on that self-control and that self-mastery, and it'll make you feel amazing. And guys, I'm so excited about doing this podcast, because I get to use my voice and use the platform that I'm trying to build for myself to spread love and to teach people how I'm every day practicing these virtues and these qualities of self-love to better myself. So I've been going through a bit of a transformation spiritually, mentally, physically. I've just been bettering myself each and every day, even though some days I would get a little discouraged, or I'm like, am I on the right path, or am I doing this right, or am I doing that right? Like, I will look for validation from other people, but then I had to stop to realize, like, why am I looking for validation from other people when I don't need anybody else to validate what I'm doing or what the divine or the godly source has given me to do and has put me on this earth to do. So, and this kind of comes from mastering yourself. And when I say master yourself, I mean master all your good qualities about yourself, all the bad qualities about yourself, mastering who you are, stepping out into your divine purpose and not letting anything getting in your way. By doing this is how you master yourself. You do things to love yourself more. You meditate maybe for 2 to 3 minutes every day if you're just a beginner. But if you're not a beginner, you're meditating maybe like 30 minutes to an hour every day, depending on your level of spirituality. Everybody can start somewhere. When you meditate and when you master yourself, you feel better. You go into the next day like, hey, I did this. I can do it. Like everybody else is doing it. And it sometimes can be quite discouraging when you have other people who are like, you see them moving and elevating and elevating and elevating and elevating. And you're just like, why am I stuck? Why am I here? What's happening? What's going on? You want to know why? It's because you haven't learned to love yourself. You haven't learned to step out on faith and stop letting your own fear and your own doubts get in your way. You haven't fully accepted yourself and you haven't fully accepted your God-given rights. Like, God is giving you all these gifts. He's like, come on. Like, you can do this. You can do that. You can do this. Do it. There's so much abundance and prosperity to share and to go around for everyone to use and to utilize and to feed off of each other. Like, we're all here to do something with our life. God has given us a talent or a quality to put forward towards this earthly world, to share with others, to be a beacon of light. And it's up to us to decide what we want to do with it. And the first step that you need to do is, for one, love yourself, and for two, master those talents before you move on to something else. So you may be good at arts and crafts or creative stuff and making buildings and all this wonderful big things that you may be good at. And I may be good at helping others, healing others, walking into a room and just smiling. That may be my gift. Those are just small gifts, but there's bigger spectrum of gifts. Like, somebody may be good at really doing readings. Another person may be good at seeing stuff, or another person may be good at making healing foods. If you guys get together, you guys could help each other, master each other, and then come together and be one. Another way you can master yourself is if you know your shadow self. And this is really big for some people, because a lot of people don't like to dig deep and go into who they are, and don't like to pull up those flaws because they're like, hey, I don't want people to see that. But that's you. That's what makes you you. Like, for me, sometimes I could be so petty on so many levels, and then I have to realize, like, hey, that's my shadow side. That's the side I'm really not liking as much. That's the side that's not me. That's not who I am. But you know what? I've come to realize that I have to master myself, and I have to balance my light and my dark, because that's a duality. That's how we balance ourselves. Nobody's just perfect, and nobody can just live. How can I put this? Nobody can just live in a perfect light. There is some darkness there. You know, it's your way to work on it and master who you are. And I mean, it's a journey. Like, just because you see this person elevating, your friends are going here, your friends are married with kids, have you ever thought it's not your time yet? It's all in divine timing. I want to kind of start getting back to my meditation classes. So all the people that are out there, I hope you're listening. I'll be having a meditation class every Sunday at a private location, 1 p.m. And I'll be talking about these things. We can come in and have open discussions about spirituality, about all the different qualities of loving yourself and what they contain of. So basically, a